Okay, in this week's English lesson, I'm going to teach you how to think in English and then speak English. This is a method that I have taught thousands upon thousands of English learners around the world, and it transformed their English. Now, my friend, are you ready to learn this method and finally speak English with confidence? Yes! Well then, I'm Teacher Tiffany. Let's jump right in. All right, the very first thing we're going to look at is right here. Let's say someone asks you this question. What did he do? Right now, we are thinking about the question. Again, we're starting off first and foremost thinking in English. So if someone asks you this question, hey, what did he do? You need to use the 5 W's method. Who, what, when, where, and why. So who are we speaking about? Let's say his name is John. What did he do? John bought a car. When did he buy the car? Yesterday. Now you see what we're doing, right? We're just thinking about the question and picking out very simple pieces of information to answer each of the 5 W's. Now, this information is going to enable you to speak English. So we have who, we have what, and we have when. Where? A dealership in the downtown area. And why? To commute to work. So now we have each of the 5 W's answered. Who, what, when, where, and why. A simple method to answer the question, what did he do? So how can we take this information and turn it into a response that a native English speaker would give? Let's check out the response, the speak step. Here we go. John made a significant investment yesterday when he bought a car. He purchased the car from a dealership downtown because he is going to start commuting to work. Listen, this right here is a very fluent English response to this question. And all we did was to first think in English using the 5 W's method. Who, what, when, where, and why. And each piece of information can be found in this response. Thinking in and then speaking English. Now, there are a few words that I want to explain to you. The first one is significant. Now, this word significant, it just means sufficiently great or important to be worthy of attention or noteworthy. Something that's important. Yes, this was a significant accomplishment, something worthy of focusing on. What did we say? He made a significant investment, a car. That's a very important purchase. You're investing a lot of money into a car, thousands of dollars many times, right? So significant. Now, what about this last word? Commuting. What does that mean? The word is commute. We added ing, right? But the word is commute, and it just means to travel some distance between one's home and place of work on a regular basis. So we saw when we organized our 5 W's that this individual, John, was purchasing a car. Why? Because he had to commute to work, going from his home to his job on a regular basis. So he needed a car. Makes sense, right? So again, we have the 5 W's organized. We understand who, John, bought a car, what, when, yesterday. When, yesterday, where, a dealership in the downtown area, and why, to commute to work. And we have our response, a perfect response in English. Makes sense, right? You're understanding this pattern and using this method to think in English and then speak. But it doesn't just work for this question. You can use it in every situation. Watch this. Let's say someone asks you this question. What did she do last night? So we have this individual. Who is it? Let's say her name is Sarah. What is she doing? She cooked, past tense, a scrumptious dinner. Now, don't worry. I will explain the meaning of the word scrumptious. I got you. Don't worry. But right now we're thinking in English. We're organizing our thoughts. So she cooked a scrumptious dinner. When? Last night. Where? At home. Why? To celebrate her anniversary. You see, when we break it down, thinking in English using the 5 W's, it immediately becomes so much easier. So we have the information. Now we need to turn this information into a response that a native English speaker would give. So let's check out the response that includes each of the 5 W's. Here we go. Last night, Sarah cooked a scrumptious dinner at home for her husband. She decided to cook because she wanted to celebrate their anniversary. Each of the 5 W's can be found in this response. Who, what, when, where, and why. And if you give this response during an English exam, during a conversation, the person listening to you will be impressed. Why? Because it answers each of the 5 W's. Now, I promised you that I would explain the word scrumptious. So this word scrumptious, it literally just means, when speaking about food, extremely tasty, very delicious. You've heard me tell you stories during story time about my mom's food. My mom cooks very well. Her food is always scrumptious. You got it again, very tasty and delicious. Makes sense, right? Yes, this word is very commonly used. So you see that we can use the 5 W's to think in English about any topic, about any question, and we finally are able to give a fluent English response. But maybe you're asking, hey Tiff, does it really work? I'm going to give you another example. But don't forget again, after this lesson, remember to go to the app, English with Tiffany app. The link is right in the description. And this will help you. It will help you actually practice what you're learning. Download the app. The link is in the description. And this app will help you practice what you are learning. Weekly English fluency lessons with Tiffany. So you can watch this lesson and then go to the app and you can practice what you're learning. All right. So let's go to the third one to prove again that this actually works. Here's the situation. Peter. The question is, hey, where did Peter go? What do we need to do? Yes, to think in English, we need to answer the 5 W's. So here we go. Who? We know we're talking about Peter. What? Attended a concert. When? Last weekend. Where? At the stadium. Why? Because he is a huge fan of the band. So we have everything answered for the 5 W's. So simple. Thinking in English, we're making it easy. English does not have to be difficult. We know who, what, when, where, and why. So now we need to answer the question using the information that we just organized. So in order to use this information to organize it, this is what we need to say. Last weekend, Peter attended a concert. The concert was held at the stadium and he had an amazing experience. He had been anticipating the concert for weeks because he is a huge fan of the band that was playing. You liked that response too, didn't you? I loved it. Why? Because we can find each of the 5 W's in this response. Who, what, when, where, and why. Now you'll also notice there are 2 words that we need to go over. The first one that I want to break down to you is anticipate. We said he had been anticipating the concert for weeks. What does anticipate mean? It just means to expect or predict. He was expecting the concert. He was looking forward to the concert. Ooh, I can't wait until the concert. Anticipate. Makes sense, right? Excellent. All right. The second one is actually a combination. So this expression, huge fan. Now, huge just means very big or large. But a huge fan is used to emphasize that you are really a big fan. A really big fan of someone or something. Maybe you're my fan. Maybe you're a huge fan of Teacher Tiffany. I hope so. I love helping you. But you see, again, it just emphasizes that you really love someone. You really are their fan. In English, we say huge fan. So Peter, a huge fan of the band. So he was anticipating the concert. Makes sense, right? So again, we just use the 5 W's, who, what, when, where, and why, to think in English and then speak English. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Remember, no matter what you're asked, you can use this simple method to answer and speak English with confidence. I will talk